Hello everyone, this is Super Comic Girl and I'm back with a brand new, sparkling, clearly Canadian kind of video. So yeah, just making you guys know, it's clear as water. It is a new, sparkling, clear, clean video. So I'm going to be doing, the video that I'm doing is based on something I have noticed, and then I'm going to pose a question to you guys at the very end of it. So if you're interested in the question, stay tuned for the end of the video because I'll give you the question. So most of you noticed that I have not been doing any new content since Star Trek Picard, the end of season 3. And that is mainly because I did those reviews of Star Trek Picard because they did a comic book, and so once it becomes comic book, oh yeah, okay, we're going to do that. So, back in, I would say December, January, yeah, when it was bitter cold and I couldn't feel my fingers, I had watched a video about manga outselling American comics and the amount of money that manga brought into Japan. They didn't have a year on it. Was like, I wish I had billions of dollars right now. But it made them billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. So, there's a guy on YouTube, and he does what I do. He does book review videos. And it's nice to know I'm not the only one out in the universe that does this. And he was talking about in the 90s, you made fun of kids who like manga and anime. And I'm thinking to myself, if you wasted 4 years of your time in high school making fun of people, you obviously had a very sad, pathetic life. I do not go for people bullying other people based on what they like. So he was willing to give manga a try. And, so there is a store in California. He lives in California. And, so it had 5-star reviews and everything, and he walks in there and it's completely packed with people. I mean, there's more than about 20 people in this store. And he was complaining about, $10 is too much to pay for a comic book. And I'm thinking, do you know how many pages you get in a manga? Just let that just sink in for a while. Because people complain, I'm spending too much money on comic books, and they don't have a ton of pages. What is the point of me spending, $5.99 or $4.99 for a comic book, or, when I'm only going to get probably about 10 or 15 pages. But you have a guy in California that's bitching about, it's $10 for 196 pages. What the fuck? Really? Stop complaining about prices, you fucking little asshole. Anyways. Yeah. I was still collecting comic books. I still love comic books, don't get me wrong. I just have not been to a comic book shop in a while. So, I go and I decide to try to find manga. And I know the best place to go to find manga is Barnes & Noble. And because I will be absolutely honest, I flipped through manga when I was in my 20s. Yeah, scary. But I really never read manga. I just flipped through it. It's like literally flipping through it. And my mother had no problem with manga. She had no problem with Japanese stuff. Now my grandmother would have, but not mom. So, yeah, so I never checked it out. I never read it. I just knew it existed and everything. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I was more into like comic books and, graphic novels and stuff like that. So I went to Barnes and Noble, and the first time I went there this year, they were in their larger store. When I went back there, me and the Lyft driver had to do hunt for the store. Finally, he dropped me off in front of this beauty supply store, or beauty. No, it wasn't a beauty. No, I couldn't talk right now. It wasn't a beauty supply store. It was a place you go to get your nails done, both hands and feet. So I go in there, and this guy walks up to me, and I told quite plainly, I said, I'm looking for Barnes and Noble. Oh, it's 3 doors down. Awesome. Go there. The place is freaking small. Like, literally, it's not even half of the size of the original Barnes and Noble. And I was disappointed. I was like, what the heck is this? So, I go and I find the manga. And they don't have a lot. They had an entire bookshelf or 2 bookshelves dedicated to manga, but that was about it. And sure enough, they had Demon Slayer. They had issues like 1 through 4 and all that type of stuff. But I had actually gone to Target and got issues 1 through 4. And then at Barnes & Noble, I got issues 5 and 6, and Amazon 7 and 8. So I had 8 issues of Demon Slayer. Because Demon Slayer looked like the coolest one of all of them, because I've seen so many animated music videos with Demon Slayer in it. I gotta check this out. This looks like a really awesome anime and manga and all that. And for people who do not know, the anime is the visual, is the basically what's on your screen in front of you. And I'm going to go into anime in a little bit with this video. So anime gets their story from the manga. So the manga is first, the anime comes after, especially if the manga sells very well. So I come home with my stuff, just like, oh, everybody look at the books I bought and everything. I was really happy. I was really proud of myself. And I still have my Demon Slayer in my Target bag. So yeah. So last month I decided to go the Hirschborn one. Yeah, it's on Hirschborn Lane in the city of Hirschborn. It takes about 45 minutes to get from here to Barnes & Noble. And this Barnes & Noble is a lot bigger. And I later on found out that the Paddock location shrunk because it's classified by the company as a low traffic location, meaning that there really is not a lot of people that are going to that Barnes & Noble. So like, okay, that explains it. But I am never going to go back there. First of all, it's too expensive to go way out there, and second of all, I have no desire to be tempted to buy a Build-A-Bear. I have 3 Build-A-Bears. I don't need any more. So, anyway, so I got some more Demon Slayer. I also picked up Death Note and Ancient Magus Bride, Bleach, and last time I was there, I picked up these 3 volumes with this bookstore in it. So, yeah. So, I'm reading Demon Slayer for the first time. I'm actually reading a manga for the first time. And I'm reading this, and I'm like, this is really good. This is really good. And this is what I've been missing in American comics, is really good storytelling. And so I watched more videos from different types of people, and they actually explained why, why manga is doing better than Western comics. And the reason for it is because when you are talking about manga, you are talking about somebody who is good at character development, at plot development, on pacing, on every aspect of the manga that you do not see in American comics. Prime example. So on Disney Plus, they have an Avengers anime show. Okay. And one of the things that makes it different than some of the other cartoons out there is that, first of all, you can tell that whoever created the this anime really understood the Avengers, about the world the MCU is on, and all that. And so you have characters that have to work for what they have. And this is what we see in anime all over the board. So, for example, and this is, I see this, and I know I'm going to get people that are going to agree with me on this, but last year, they brought out Miss Marvel. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm gonna make a comment about them killing her off. Okay, if you don't like the character, why the fuck did you just decide to kill her? Well, the character's not making us hardly any money, so we're just gonna have her shot in the back of the head. What the fuck? Like, really? Even I am totally scratching my head on that idea. Like, oh, we're just gonna kill Miss Marvel. What the fuck? Like, why are you killing Miss Marvel? Seriously. Did Miss Marvel do so bad on Disney Plus that you're like, yeah, we're just gonna have her killed? What? What the? I don't understand this at all. I don't. So, yeah, so you go and look at, the show Miss Marvel that came out last year. And her train sequence was very short. Very short. Same thing with She-Hulk. Very short. There wasn't any effort, or not. I wouldn't say there was no effort. She actually did try. She actually did want to master these powers, so there's that determination already there. But you literally had the shortest training thing ever. When Sony did Spider-Man, we're talking about the first one, okay? The first trilogy, the first one. Peter Parker's training period was longer. I wouldn't say super long because you can't do that in any kind of thing, but it was long. It was not super long, but it was long enough. Sony knew, yeah, we can't have these, 5-minute, shit shows. We have to actually show Peter Parker working towards mastering these abilities and becoming Spider-Man. So they knew. They had a better handle on it than people have today. When we look at American comics, and everyone knows, I've been to comic book shops. And there are comic book shops that now sell manga because they see the writing on the wall. If they're going to stay afloat, they have to sell manga. But it's just, I mean, come on. You do not need 30 spider people inside one comic book. Okay? You don't. You can't follow all of these different types of people. It's just a disaster. And then, of course, you have filler characters, which I can't fucking stand, because they're generally members of the LGBT community, and they generally go away. So, I'll tell you something. That one girl I saw back, I think it was in January, that was working, I think, with Constantine. Like, why would you work with Constantine? But yeah, poor Batgirl ended up in a spirit dimension. I was like, what's going to happen to poor Batgirl? Oh, what's going to happen to her? I need to find out, so I'm going to get the comic book next month. Because I need to find out what happens to poor Batgirl. I do. But yeah. So, when you look at manga, you look at anime, the characters have to work for what they have, or they've got something and they have to work to make it stronger. So, prime example is Deku from My Hero Academia. He proves that you don't need superpowers to save a person's life, and through work and perseverance and yada yada yada, he becomes the worthy successor to All Might. So, anime. So, yesterday morning, early morning, and I should learn a lesson about trying to sign up for anything at 1 something in the morning. So, I said to myself, I'm going to sign up for Crunchyroll, because Crunchyroll is supposed to have this large library of anime, and I wanted to be able to watch it. And there's a couple episodes of different ones you can watch without the premium membership, but most of them you got to have the premium membership. So, I go on my computer, type in Crunchyroll, and all that type of stuff, and everything, and it doesn't let me do any. It doesn't let me. I mean, it lets me set up the account and all this stuff, but it doesn't accept my debit card. And I'm like, what the fuck? I want to watch these shows. So I said to myself, okay, alright, Michelle, guess what? Just go to bed and tackle it with a clear head. Okay. So I got it in the morning, yesterday morning, and I was like, okay, I'm going to try this on my phone. Because my phone, Samsung has my card in there, has verified the card, blah, blah, blah. So, I go and I've already downloaded the app and all that jazz. And I literally spent 25-30 minutes trying to figure out what the fuck I was doing wrong. Finally became a premium member. I chose one device only. So, yeah. So, I typed in, Pretty Derby. Now, Pretty Derby, I saw AMVs on it. I'm like, wow, this looks really cool. It looks really cute and cool, and I want to see this. So, I type in, and sure enough, Pretty Derby is on their server. So, I go and click the first episode, and I enabled my little phone to switch over, and all that jazz. And it is, interesting, to say the least. So, for people that do not know, Pretty Derby is a story about a girl who has horse's ears and a horse's tail. And she's known as a horse girl. And we find out that this is an evolutionary thing. How? I have no clue. But it's Japanese culture. Nothing makes sense. So I go and I'm watching this episode and I'm like, I really hope I don't end up hating this show. I ended up I watched 2 episodes before I clocked in, and I watched the 3rd episode when I was on my break. Lang did not understand any of it, and I'm watching this, and I find out that this girl's got 2 moms. Before you say anything, okay, let me clarify that. Her first mom has died. Her second mom is actually her birth mother's friend, who agrees to take care of her before her mother dies, which is really sad. We don't know who the father is or anything like that. Of course, it's not important in it. So, yeah, so she makes a vow to not just her living mother, but her dead mother, that she's going to be the best horse girl in all of Japan. And of course, the classmates think it's funny, but yeah. But she has to work hard for these races. And she loses for the first time, and she does a very good job in hiding how she's feeling, but in the end, she can't hold it in. She's very upset about losing. It's an unusual anime, but I have no complaints about it. It's just good storytelling. Good storytelling, good character development, good pacing, lots of story for $10. So yeah. So am I out of the American comic book buying thing? No, I'm not. I'm just not really interested right now in buying comic books. I want to read Japanese comic books. So, yeah, so manga is big. Manga, I think it was like 2 years ago, I read there was a manga shortage, which I was like, what the heck? What are people doing? Hoarding this stuff? But yeah. So, my question is this. Does anybody on my channel want me to do reviews of manga? Japanese comic books? I'd really like to hear from my subscribers if you do. Second of all, do you agree about the reason that I gave why? Because the reason I give for why American comic books are failing and manga is doing very, very, very well, yeah, those billions of dollars is well enough, is because manga has good character development, good pacing, good story, good everything. It's also cheaper, or I want to say it's more you get more bang for your buck at 169 pages for $10 compared to whatever amount it is for an American comic book with just maybe 15 pages. I mean, there's a lot of other reasons that I'm not going to go into because I don't understand the culture. But yeah, do you agree with that point that I make about with manga, with all that stuff, and American comics, where they're raising prices and they are giving you a shitty story and they're putting 7 million spider people in one comic book and all that. So I would like to know, do you agree with that statement? I'm sorry if I look a little drowsy. It's like 2:43 in the morning. I'm tired. But yeah. So if you guys want me to do manga reviews, let me know. I do have 12 volumes. I have read 6 volumes, and I've already done reviews on the Book Corner. If you guys want reviews here, I will do reviews here, and I will start off with the first volume of Demon Slayer and go all the way to volume number 6. I also did read volume number 1 of Bleach. Next week I will be doing a review of the first volume of Death Note. And yeah. So now one thing I am going to be doing is I will be doing reviews of the anime version of the manga stories. So if you guys are interested in that, you can watch that. I do have, as I said, I did watch 3 episodes of Pretty Derby, and yeah, so I'm going to do my thoughts on that in 3 videos. Today I will be binge watching Pretty Derby because I'm off today and everything. But yeah, so I'm going to let you guys go. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys around. Bye.